Gohar Khan is a pretty accomplished guy. MIT graduate, 6.3 million subscribers on YouTube, yada 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 yada. Then there's me, UChicago class of 2029 with 710 subscribers on YouTube, and most importantly, I'm a struggling IB diploma candidate. Gohar, you and me, we're not so different, and today I have 24 hours to figure out if advice from a guy like you can actually help a guy like me. The clock starts now. So I'm scrolling through YouTube, it's like 2 days ago, and this video pops up. 5 habits to make you a more successful student. Of course, I click on it because I want to be more successful. First habit, he says to divide all of your tasks equally between the amount of time you have to complete those tasks. So I guess that's how I'm going to structure today. We have 24 hours. We just did one of his tips. That leaves us with 4 tips to do in the remaining 24 hours. Problem is, I sleep for 8 hours. So we're going to take 24 minus 8, and then we're going to divide that by 4. That means for the rest of this video, I'm going to be spending 4 hours doing the remaining 4 tips. Hopefully it's not too long. Hopefully it's not too short. And hopefully at the end of the day, we figure out if Gohar Khan's tips actually make me a better student or if it's all just a hoax. Habit number 2. Courtesy of Gohar Khan, he says to confront your knowledge gaps. Well, today, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm not taking an economics class, I'm self-studying for the AP exam, and I feel like I don't know anything, I'm behind, I'm only on unit 4. That means I have a big knowledge gap and a small amount of time to do it. So what I did was sit down with my handy dandy economics textbook, then took out my my composition notebook from Target, handy dandy pencil, with Mr. Handy Dandy himself, Jacob Clifford, and his ultimate study guide to the economics AP exam. Yes, I'm a snake, I bought his ultimate reviewed packet, but hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. This is a little time lapse. I didn't film the whole 4 hours because, you know, I'm not gonna film myself just sitting there drawing graphs.
Get comfortable asking for things.
According to Gohar Khan, there's another thing that we're supposed to do in order to become a better student. He tells us to ask for things, for everything, favors, this, ask for that. I'm just gonna go and ask people everyday things right now. Let's go. My first victim is this guy at the local camera store. I think his name is Mike, because he works at Mike's Camera. Could be. Anyways, I was asking for a wireless microphone because right now I have to have this one that kind of, you can see, connects here all the way to the camera, which I'm recording on, which is not very practical if I'm trying to interview or go out in the street like I am right now and actually have people hear me. That's something to look forward to in future videos. And so what options do you have for that?
You just want one mic?
Yeah.
So the mic is here, so one receiver be connected to your camera, one will be on your person.
Oh, so I can plug that into one of these. Okay, but this is the wireless thing. And there's, are there any other options that are less expensive or?
They only work on phone.
Okay, do you have the box? Can I take a picture of it? Another thing you could ask for is to pray. You know, that's a form of asking. You could ask to pass AP Literature, IBHL Bio, for example. You could ask for gifts for your birthday, so I did that. Ask for help from my friends, I did that. Ask my friends what they got on this recent test, I did that too. Ask my friends how they're doing on the HL essay for IB English, I did that. Apparently nobody's done with it yet. Hey, at least I asked them.
I want you to do something that you enjoy every single day.
Because I'm dividing everything equally, I can spend 4 hours doing something I enjoy. I'm not just gonna do one thing I enjoy. I'm not just gonna do 2 things I enjoy. I'm gonna do 3 or 4 or 5 things. Because, you know, I'm just like that. First thing I'm gonna do is go to the gym, because hey, we're paying for our own memberships over here, right? That's step number 1. Next thing that I'm gonna do is actually go and work on YouTube at a cafe, grab myself a little coffee, treat myself right. Step number 3, I'm gonna indulge in a couple protein bars, maybe a protein shake, grab one of those from the grocery store, head to the checkout, drop 15 bucks, eat it at the cafe while I'm working on my YouTube. Are we feeling like a studious student? We spent 2/3 of the time doing jack shit and 1/3 of the time actually locked in on economics, actually locked in on the YouTube channel. So we're not quite balanced out and I'm not exactly feeling studious, but maybe I am studious on the inside. It's just, I don't feel like it on the outside. You know what I'm gonna do after that? Head home because I've spent enough time in the city and maybe I'm gonna go play some video games.
4 hours later.
We've enjoyed ourselves today for 4 hours. We locked in for 4 hours and we asked for things for 4 hours. Now we're gonna spend 4 hours going through a bedtime routine.
Back in high school, I would follow an after-school routine.
I like to go to bed at 11, wake up at around 6:45, 7:30. It's a little bit on the low side of sleep, but Gohar doesn't say anything about sleep, so guess it's a free-for-all. Bedtime routine is going to start with a little bit of art. I'm in IB/HL art, one of the hardest IB classes. We basically just sit around and paint. At the end of the year, you realize you haven't done enough work, and you're actually going to get a 2 on the IB exam, and that's the reason you're going to fail your diploma. So I'm going to do some art to make sure that doesn't happen. Step 2 on my routine is to actually reflect on the day. I like to look back on what I did right, what I did wrong, which merges it into my next part, which is to write out my goals for next week. There's a couple big things on my list. Most importantly is my math IA. It's anywhere from 12 to 18 pages of just writing about math, which if you are anything like me sounds like an absolutely horrendous task. And let me tell you, it is. So all my writing doesn't really make sense. But hey, you know what? At the end of the day, we're just in it to win it. Get that extra chord. Biology also has an internal assessment, an IA, and that one I turned in a rough draft for last week. As soon as my teacher gets that graded, I will be working on that again. Those are my main academic goals. Of course, I'm looking at getting 800 subscribers, hopefully on the YouTube channel. And beyond that, I just want to have a fun week, probably hang out with some friends, prepping for spring break, going to Utah to go skiing. We've been here for about, what, hour and 45 minutes. This is a really long bedtime routine, by the way. If it was a school night, I would not have time for all this. Honestly, might not make it the whole 4 hours. At this point, I'm feeling really tired, excited to hit the sack, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. It has been 24 hours since my challenge to study like Gohar started. That means the challenge is over. In all honesty, I followed all of his advice. Problem is, I only got 4 hours of legitimate working in to a day that was supposed to be packed with an academic workload and working on my YouTube channel. I think I can conclude that there's a time and a space to do hard things. YouTube is undebatably one of the hardest things I've ever done. So I'd appreciate it if you subscribed as a little pat in the back.